Who's it today? What's going on, people? It's TRB, the right brother. How you doing? How you doing? Always, anytime I do a news article, make sure to leave a comment and your point of view at the bottom. We definitely will be doing the top comments on this. I did this video March 14th, but I didn't put it out. I saw Dread Pirate put it out as a fellow co-employee of Swift Transportation as well. I want to give him a shout out and make sure that I redo this video, and in the beginning of the video that I give him a shout out. Because he put his video out before I did. So shout out to Dread Pirate. Anyway. Now, I did get this in the mail. You know what? We're going to go ahead and read the article. We're going to go ahead and read the article. I don't think I will get any money from this, but if I do. All right. $100 million settlement reached. Swift settles class action misclassification suit. Phoenix, Arizona. Sorry about that. I almost got hit. All right. Swift Transportation has entered into a class action settlement agreement that could cost the company up to $100 million for a misclassification of independent drivers, independent contractors. All information is sourced from Transportation Nation Network. I always go there because they're not getting money from the big corporations, so they can put out an article and don't have to worry about the backlash or losing money. All right, so definitely check them out. According to the court documents, negotiation to reach a settlement in the 10-year legal battle began heating up in 2017 as the Swift and Knight Transportation were completing their historic merger. You know they family, right? You know they family, right? No, I mean like cousins and uncles and their family. So, you know, this merger just, that's a whole nother video. More than 19,000 drivers may be eligible to receive up to $5,000 each as a part of the settlement. Payout to eligible drivers will be based on length of employment and could date as far back as 1999. The plaintiff drivers filed the suit in 2009 and argued they were misclassified as contractors when they instead should have been considered company drivers.
The DAT Freight Exchange is where thousands of freight brokers and carriers that represent over 1 million trucks connect. DAT is the biggest and best solutions provider for supply chain professionals.
Hey, what's that term, King D-Raj? Glorified company drivers? I'm just parked in a horrible spot. Okay. Thus, they argued that they were owed additional pay and benefits under federal law, including earning an average of federal minimum wage for hours worked. I have a whole thing about that as well, and I guess I'll put that at the end of this video. Drivers eligible for the class include those who entered into an independent contract agreement with Swift prior to January 1st, 2019, and who also had a lease agreement with Interstate Equipment Leasing, which is a Swift subsidiary. Y'all hear that, right? Y'all hear that, right? That's the same thing with Prime, and then these mega corporations own the company that you're leasing your truck from. Is that double dipping? Anyway, adding to Swift willingness to come to an agreement was the recent Supreme Court decision Olivia versus New Prime. Oh, yeah. Let me let y'all see that right there. Can y'all see that? Boom. Y'all know New Prime is Prime Inc., baby. In which the court ruled carriers cannot force interstate transportation workers, including independent contractors, into arbitration over legal disputes. The ruling effectively ended Swift defense because the company had argued the plaintiff claims should have been sent to an individual I can't pronounce the word. I just did. Arbitration proceeding as per the agreement that they had. But per the agreement they assigned. So basically, you can't take it to a court. You got to go to arbitration first. Legal term. Google it. The Just this month, the company announced it was ending its independent contractor program in California due to increasing difficulties in state regulations. All right. Glorified company drivers, you need to dig into the new Prime lawsuit to really understand what's going on here. But basically, there was a clause in the new Prime that said you have to take it to arbitration, and I'm probably saying that wrong, before you can actually take it to, like courts and stuff like that. But if you was leasing, you might be entitled to $5,000. Now, yes, you can make $5,000. There's going to be some people like $5,000 ain't no money. $5,000 is $5,000 more than you have. So if you're the type of person to be like, well, $5,000 ain't a lot, but it's $5,000 more than you had. Now, I did receive this in the mail about the class action lawsuit, that I might be eligible. I don't see how I am, because I was a company driver. I was never a lease op over at Swift. Now, what's interesting is they argue they were owed additional pay and benefits under the federal law, including earning average of federal minimum wage. I feel like they need to change the pay for drivers. So basically, anytime you are on the road, off duty, or on duty, you need to at least get federal minimum wage. And federal minimum wage is a one set. It's set. There's no, you go to California, you get $15 an hour for minimum wage. You go over here, you get $8.50 an hour. No, I think, hold on, let's find out what federal minimum wage is right now, because it's not what you think, or most people think. What is federal minimum wage? Signal is slow. Okay, so federal minimum wage right now is $7.25 per hour. So I feel as if anytime you're on duty and you're not at home, that your 10-hour break, you should be getting federal minimum wage. If you're doing a 34-hour break, you should be getting federal minimum wage, because you're out and you're not getting paid for the time that you're away from home. I wholeheartedly feel that. No, you don't have to do the $15 an hour here and this and that. But I do feel federal minimum wage is the minimum you can pay for somebody that's doing a 34-hour restart away from home, or if they're asleep for their 10-hour break. We have to shut down by law, and we should get paid for that, because we're shutting down in equipment that we can't move. You get what I'm saying? So if you work for Swift, if you got this letter in the mail, you might be entitled. Now, I ain't going to say that I opt in for the lawsuit. I ain't going to say I opted out for the lawsuit. All I'm going to say is, when I read it, it says if you want to opt out, you got to mail this letter. Let's just say I might not have had a stamp at the time. I might not have had a stamp at the time. They didn't give me no website and anything to go to. So if I end up getting something, that'd be absolutely awesome. If I do, I'll post it on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at The Right Brother. I post a lot of reposts. I do a lot of just funny jokes. Okay, everything on my social media is lighthearted. Don't dive too deep into certain subjects, because for what? It's not my style, not what I like. Anyway, if you are part of this, and not only that, they're ending. Hang on, let me just reread that part. Just this month, the company announced that it was ending independent contractor programs in California due to increasingly difficult state regulations. So you will probably not be able to lease out of California. And I'm assuming it's based where your driver's license is based out of. So if you do want to get a driver's license in a different state because you want to lease, I don't know how that's going to work for the people that's already from California that's leasing from this. But so Knight and Swift, the head honchos of those are family members. And not only that, Interstate Equipment Leasing, which is a subsidiary of Swift. Do anybody know all the subsidiaries of Swift? Because there was a couple trucking reefer companies that they bought that I knew nothing about. I think Schaefer. Well, they bought Abilene as well. And it was a couple other that they bought. And I was like, wait, they bought who? Schaefer? For real? So definitely check that. I need to go Google who Swift Transportation or just Swift subsidiaries. Let's do it now. A list of Swift subsidiaries. They want me to go to the SEC. I would definitely have to do a little bit of research on it, because that's just something that I've never paid attention to the subsidiaries. Like I know like Google has, their parent company is Alphabet, but Google also have Waves or something like that, and like 4 or 5 other subsidiary companies under them. A list of subsidiaries. I see JBS in here, but I don't think JBS is part of, because they move the meat. They usually move the meat. I'm trying to see if any other ones that I recognize. Anyway, I think that's very interesting. So shout out to Dread Power for go ahead and put it up. Make sure you go check his channel out so you can see his opinion. How do I feel about it? I definitely feel like if you are a lease and you're paying for the equipment, you should have the ability to do and go where you want. I feel that. That's just how I feel. But there's rules to everything because it's technically their equipment. You don't own the equipment, you're just leasing the equipment. So you got to go where they want you to go, run how they want you to run, and they are in control of your income. Like for me, I'm leasing, but I'm in control of my income because I drive where I want. I take the rates that I want. I call brokers. I book my own loads. I get the rate con. I know exactly. I get 100% of the fuel surcharge and X amount of percent of the load. So I know exactly how much this company is getting and how much I'm getting. You can't do that at certain companies. So that's definitely interesting. It seems like there's a trickle down effect that's going on with that new prime settlement that happened. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? I do know now that people in California would not be able to jump in a lease, which people that don't agree with leases in the first place would be like, good. Some people are going to be like, well, you know, I should at least have the option. You know, I might not take it, but I want the option. There's a lot of things that go on in California that, as far as the trucking industry goes, it's I want to say it works against the driver, but then again, it might work for the driver because a situation like this, you know, California is going to enforce certain laws that other states are not going to enforce. I don't know. Leave your opinion down below. It's the right brother. Thank y'all for rocking with me. I'm gonna go ahead and try to knock out a primary article today, so y'all might be getting a couple uploads today, and then I'm going to go ahead and try to record a couple more articles since I'm sitting for a little time trying to debate what I'm going to do here. In the meantime, that board, all right, that board free 30 days. Link down below. Follow me on Instagram. Link down below. Follow me on Twitter. Link down below. You follow me on Twitter. I complain a lot on Twitter. And I complain to the major corporations because for whatever reason, they listen when you're on Twitter. I had an issue with my refrigerator. You know what? Y'all don't want to hear all about that. I'll say that for a random live feed that I do. Love you. Thank you. Get that money. Be happy.